Hello everyone. In the previous class, we have discussed about HTML formatting elements. So in today's session, we'll introduce about CSS. Okay. So like what is the use of CSS and how many types of CSS we have. So all those things we will discuss. So now to discuss that, we will create a new HTML page, index4.html. So let us write the page structure. So as we discussed, we can also use the shortcut HTML:5. Okay. So we will get the page structure of HTML5 in the document. So now if you want to change the title, we can change based on our topic. So I just mentioned here CSS. So guys, now let us discuss what is CSS. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, used to style the web pages. Okay. So using the CSS, we can style the web pages. Like using HTML, we create the web pages, right? So using the CSS, we can style the web pages. So let us see what are the types of CSS. And guys, we have also discussed in the previous session when we are discussing about the style attribute. So in CSS, we have properties. Like you want to style something, we have properties for that. Suppose you want to apply the background color, we have a background color property. Okay. So anyways, let us discuss that. So first, we'll discuss types of CSS. So we have three types of CSS. One is inline CSS. Okay, you can also say methods in CSS, CSS methods. There are three methods: inline CSS, then we have internal CSS. So then we have external CSS. Okay, so let us start with inline CSS. So guys, in every CSS, we will discuss two things. Like one is what is the use of the CSS and how to create this CSS. So first of all, how to create inline CSS? Using style attribute inside HTML start tag, we can create inline CSS. So what is the use of this CSS? It is used to style single HTML element. So using inline CSS, we can style single HTML element. Okay. For example, I wanted to make this H1 with, I wanted to style this H1 with some background color, and I also wanted to change the text color. Okay. So then we go here and use the style attribute. So we already know this style equal to change the background color, we have to use background color property, background color. You guys can select here. So now with your down arrow, you can just select background color colon. You can give the background color. Suppose I wanted to make some shaded blue. Okay. So now this is how to give, right? This is how to style it. So we already know this, and that is called as inline CSS. So we'll run the page in browser. So let us go to run and click on run without debugging. Select the browsers which you want to see the output. So it is loading. Okay. So now we will just zoom in a little bit. So instead of zooming, we can also increase the size of the font and all. Okay. So now I just zoom in this page. So guys, Now let us also change the text color, because on top of this color is not much clear like text color. So let us try to make it white, color colon white. So now let us refresh the page. Okay. Yeah. So this is how we were styling, right? So this is basically inline CSS. For example, I want this H2 also in the same colors. So again, I have to go and write here style equal to background color. Okay. So this one and color white. So again, same. Suppose I wanted same styles for this H2 also. So then we have to again create the same thing. Suppose I'll copy this one. Okay. So directly I'll paste here inside the start tag. So let us refresh the page. So now you guys see here, we got for all the headings, this blue background color with the text color white. Okay. So now, for example, if there are some 100 H1 tags, okay, in your page, and you want for all the 100 H1 tags, same styles. So then what you have to do? You have to go every H1 and give style equal to background color, cadet blue, and the color white. So we have to add so much extra code, right? Every time giving same styles to the same element. So this is why mostly we don't prefer inline CSS in our websites. Okay. So this is how we can go for internal CSS. So again, let us discuss two things here. How to create internal CSS and what is the use of internal CSS. So to create internal CSS, we have to using style element, okay, inside the head section of our web page, like of HTML page, we can create internal CSS. So what is the use of internal CSS? It is used to style single HTML page. Okay. So in one time, we can style one web page using the internal CSS. How to create it? As we discussed here, you guys see, using style element inside the head section of our HTML page. So this is the head of our HTML page. Here we have to use style element. Guys, as we discussed in the previous classes, anytime element means like style element means we have to start the style tag and close the style tag. Okay. So now here, suppose using internal CSS, I wanted to make all the paragraphs in red color. Okay. Or else I wanted to make all the paragraphs in green color. So you want to style paragraph, right? So paragraph tag is P. Okay. So then open brace and close brace. So here we can make color green. Okay. So now what will happen? Whatever the paragraphs are there in this page, all the paragraphs will be in green color. So no need to go and write inside each and every paragraph tag style equal to color colon green. Okay. So that is the use of internal CSS. Like we can style the entire HTML page one shot. So now you guys see all the paragraphs we got in green color. Okay, so this is fine. We got all the paragraphs in green color. So now let us see. Suppose in this paragraph, I will add style equal to color colon orange. So what I did for this paragraph using inline CSS, I have given orange background color, not background color, orange text color. And using internal CSS, we have given green text color. So just you guys guess which will be coming in the output. Okay. Hope you guys guessed. So guys, now you guys see. So we given for this element both inline and internal CSS. So for any element, when you are using both inline CSS and internal CSS, the browser will give first preference to inline CSS because we are writing here specifically, okay, style equal to this. We are mentioning for this element. So the browser will give more preference to this one. So now in the output, we will get this paragraph with orange color and all other paragraphs as usual in the green color. So let us refresh. Okay, so now you guys see here, all other paragraphs are in green color and the paragraphs which we have given using inline CSS is coming in the orange color. Okay. So guys, so what you guys understood till now? So when we use for any element, inline CSS and internal CSS, the browser will give more preference to the inline CSS. The next preference will be for the internal CSS. Okay. Yeah, so now everything is okay. We are able to style entire page using the internal CSS. Then why we have external CSS? Okay. So external CSS, like if you take any website, so let us take any website. I will open a2nacademy.com. So now you guys see here. Here not only one web page, we have multiple web pages. For example, this is first page is there. And then suppose you click on the become an instructor. So it is going to different page. So now contact us is there. This is different page. Login is there or any other page. Everything is different page, right? So now there are multiple web pages, not only single web page. There are multiple web pages. So this is why external CSS is useful. So it is used for to create style multiple web pages. Okay. So then we have external CSS. So what is the use of external CSS? It is used to style multiple web pages. Okay. How to create external CSS? So in external CSS, first we have to create the CSS file. Okay. So then we have to link that CSS file into our HTML page. Let us do that. So to create external CSS, we have to use link element. Using link element inside head section. Okay. We can create external CSS. So let us go to our head section. So now you guys see here, I will add here link element. Guys, element means I said we have to open the start tag and then closing tag. Also, as we discussed, like an image tag is a self-closing tag. Okay. So same thing here. Link is also self-closing tag. No need to close separately. Okay. So we have just added the link element. Now we have to create the external CSS file. How to create the file? You can directly create from VS Code. So guys, I suggest that in your website, you keep the folders, different folders. For example, for images, we have created the images folder, and also for CSS, let us create CSS folder. So this is for to organize our folders. Okay. So you want to create new folder now. So now go and hover on this folder, your main folder, and click on the second icon. So this is for new folder. Okay. So now add the name CSS. Okay. So now you have to create the CSS file inside the CSS folder. So in that case, what you will do, go to CSS and click on it. It will be highlighted with this some color. Okay. So now inside this, if you want to create CSS file, you have to click on this. Again, same, you have to click on the new file. So here we have to give the CSS name, style.css. So we created the CSS file. So now you can write here CSS code. So let us go to index4.html. Okay, so now we have to link that CSS file into this page. How to link the page? So we have to use link href. href, we already know, hypertext reference, which is used to give the CSS path for the link element. It is used to give the path. So now your CSS file, style.css, is inside CSS folder. So first we have to give the folder name CSS / the file name is style and the format of the CSS file is .css. Okay. So guys, you have to save every time you do the changes before refreshing the page, before running the page. Okay. Or else you can use the shortcut Control S. Or else you can go to file and click on the save. Okay. So now we are discussing, like we have given the CSS path. Along with that, we also have to use one more attribute, that is REL. Okay, REL means a relation. Okay, let us discuss. So first, guys, CSS file is a style sheet. So we have to mention here style sheet. Okay, and we also can use here type attribute. Type equal to. So what type of CSS file it is? That is a text file, right? CSS file is generally a text file that doesn't contain any images and all those things. So text / the format of the CSS file. Suppose .css is the format. So we have to mention here CSS. This is optional if you want to add or not, type attribute. Okay. So this href and REL we have to add for all the CSS files when you are linking into the HTML page. So now REL means a relationship. Okay. So I'll just write here REL. So what is the use of REL attribute? It is used to describe the relationship between the current file, current HTML page. Suppose this is the current HTML page, right? So current page and the linked file, the linked file. So here the link file is CSS, right? This is the linked file. Okay. So that is basically REL attribute. It is used to describe the relationship between the current page. Current page is index4.html and the linked file, that is style.css. Okay. So and the type, to mention the type of this file. So now if someone asks you what are the link attributes, so don't confuse with the anchor tag. Anchor tag is used for linking purpose and a link tag is used for to add the path, okay, to link the CSS file. Also, we can create the fav icon. In the coming session, we'll discuss. Okay, so that is the use of link. So now we created the external CSS file and also we have link file. So now we will also write some styles here. So now, for example, we will create some styles. So now here I will write for H1. So I'll give here background color orange. Okay. And text color white. Guys, the syntax, like as usual, like internal CSS. So now you want to style the H1. So we have to add here H1, open brace and close brace. And in between that, we have to add the properties. Okay. So now let us refresh our page. So guys, now you guys see here. So for this H1, okay, so we are getting orange background color and white colored text. Okay, but other H1s, like what is CSS and all, this is also a H1, right? You can go on check here. So this is also H1, but here it is coming whatever we have given inside the inline CSS. So now here for this H1, there is no any inline CSS. So we are getting the styles of external CSS. Like we are getting the background color orange and color as white. Okay. So now, for example, we will also write styles for H1 using internal CSS. So H1 I'll give color colon LS blue and background color aqua or something. So guys, what you guys are thinking? Suppose now you guys see here for this H1, I have used internal CSS. Okay. Also, I have external CSS. So now which color the browser will be giving preference? Let us see that. So let us refresh first. And before that, using internal CSS, we have this aquamarine, and using external CSS, we have background color orange. So let us refresh the page. So guys, like if you might have observed, like here, we are getting the styles which are there in the external CSS. Okay, it doesn't mean that when any element has inline CSS, when any element has internal CSS and external CSS, the browser will give more preference to the internal CSS. It's not like that. Okay, it is like, you see how the CSS code will work, how browsers check the CSS code. It will check the line by line. It will check line by line. For example, first it will come to, suppose whenever this page loads, okay, first it will go for this line, this line, this line, then this line, this line. When it comes to here in this line, the H1 color will be aquamarine. Okay, browser will set H1 color to aquamarine. But again, it will go to here, link, and here one CSS file we have, style.css. So now the browser will go and check the styles in CSS file. So now when it comes to here, okay, previously it was there aquamarine, but now the styles will be replaced by orange. Okay, so like whichever is the last one, okay, the browser will give preference to that. It will replace the previous value. So that's why here we are getting the orange background color for the H1. For example, you just cut this CSS and paste before this style. Okay, so now what will happen? First, browser will come to here and it will set the background color orange for this H1. Okay, so now it will come again here and it will orange color. It will be replaced, like it will be converted into aquamarine. So this new value, the browser will assign to the H1. So now the output will be aquamarine. So let us refresh. So now you guys see here, we got this output in aquamarine. So this is how it works. Okay, when any element has inline CSS and internal CSS, the browser will give first preference to inline. Same thing, when any element has inline CSS and external CSS, the browser will give first preference to inline. But when any element has internal CSS and external CSS, in that case, what browser will do, based on the positioning of this external CSS and internal CSS, the browser will give preference, like whichever is the last set by the like coders, whoever is working on it. So for that, the browser will give more preference. Okay, so this is how CSS works. Okay, we'll discuss more detailed way in CSS tutorials. Okay, so like this is for to start with the CSS. Like we can also, along with the HTML, we can start using the CSS. So that's why we have discussed. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching.